Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into Gartner's latest take on the world of cybersecurity. And let's be honest, it's more chaotic than ever out there. But there is a clear path forward, and it's all about a big shift, from just trying to prevent attacks to building some serious resilience.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get a handle on this perfect storm of threats that we're all in. Then we're going to actually map out that chaos using a really clever framework from Gartner. From there, we'll zoom in on the biggest dangers. And finally, we'll talk about a whole new way of thinking, one that's all about resilience and getting ready for the attacks you'll never see coming.
Okay, let's jump right in. The situation we're in right now isn't just a little tricky. Experts are literally calling it a perfect storm, and you're about to see why.
Gartner has this great acronym for it, VUCA. It stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Basically, it means that threats aren't just popping up all the time. They're also totally unpredictable, they're all tangled together, and half the time you don't even know what you're looking at. It's just a state of constant, chaotic change.
And believe me, this isn't just some abstract idea. Just look at the ransomware attack on Change Healthcare. The total price tag for the company, and this includes the ransom they paid plus rebuilding their entire IT system, was a staggering $872 million.
But, the money is only half the story. That very same attack exposed the personal and healthcare data of 100 million people. Think about that. It just goes to show you the massive, often immeasurable human cost of these attacks.
And it's not like we're just dealing with one kind of threat. Nope, this is a multi-front war. You've got account takeovers hitting Snowflake's customers, impacting over 160 companies, and then you have huge data breaches at places like Medisecure. The battlefield is everywhere.
So, this is the big question, right? With all this chaos swirling around, how is anyone supposed to navigate this storm without just getting completely lost? How do you even know what to focus on? Well, that's the exact problem Gartner decided to tackle. And they came up with a solution that's not just about reacting to whatever fire is burning today, but about actually building a strategic defense for what's coming tomorrow.
And this is just brilliant. They built something called the Threatscape Matrix. It maps the entire threat landscape using two really simple but powerful ideas. The first is threat signal, which is basically how much do we actually know about a threat. The second is advantage. Who's winning the fight right now? The attackers or us, the defenders?
And here it is. This map sorts everything into these really clear buckets. If you look down in the bottom right, you've got your established threats. Stuff like phishing, where defenders are generally doing okay. But then, look up at the top left. That's the real danger zone. These are the critical and emerging threats, the stuff we know very little about, and where the attackers definitely have the upper hand.
So let's go there. Let's dig into that scary top left corner and see what it tells us about the immediate future, because this is where the next wave of cyber attacks is really taking shape.
Deepfakes are the perfect example. This was science fiction just a few years ago, right? Now it's a real tool for criminals. Powerful AI is so widely available that creating fake audio and video for impersonation attacks is something almost anyone can do.
And this isn't some far-off risk. A recent Gartner survey showed just how real this is. 43% of security leaders said they'd already seen deepfake attempts on audio calls, 37% on video calls. This is happening right now, today.
So how do you even begin to fight back? Well, Gartner says you need a defense in layers. There's no one magic bullet here. It's about combining cool tech, like voice biometrics, with strict, old-school financial controls, like needing two people to approve a wire transfer. And maybe most importantly, training your people to spot the weird little behavioral clues that AI just can't fake yet.
But the AI threat is so much bigger than just deepfakes. Attackers are now going after the AI applications that companies are building themselves. And this prediction from Gartner is pretty chilling. They expect that the most common way in will be through the software supply chain. The basic code and data that these AI systems are built on top of.
So all this forces us to ask a much bigger, more fundamental question. This Threadscape map is awesome, but what about the dangers that aren't on any map yet? What about the ones we can't possibly see coming?
And this right here, this is the pivot. You simply cannot predict the next big attack. It's impossible. So instead of trying to build a perfect, unbreakable wall, the strategy has to change. The focus has to be on building an organization that can take a punch, any punch, and keep on moving.
This is the absolute core of what cyber resilience means. It's a strategy that starts by assuming that you will be breached. It's going to happen. So the goal isn't just to stop attacks. It's to make sure that when one inevitably gets through, your business can keep running with as little disruption as possible. It's about continuity above all else.
A truly resilient strategy really stands on three main pillars. First, you need a resilient posture. That means proactive monitoring and having clear plans for downtime. Second, a flexible design that uses guiding principles, not super rigid rules, so you can adapt. And third, you need relevant metrics that actually measure business outcomes, not just a bunch of technical stats that nobody understands.
Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, but how do you make this idea of resilience a real thing? What does this actually look like day to day in an organization?
The single most important takeaway is this: you have to plan for business downtime, not just IT recovery. The average time it takes for IT to recover from a major incident is 23 days. 23! Your business cannot just shut down for 3 weeks. That means you need to have real, practical, manual workarounds, offline reports, and other ways to communicate ready to go at a moment's notice. And that means we have to think differently about how we respond to a crisis. We've got to move away from these super rigid step-by-step playbooks. They almost always fall apart in a real crisis because no two attacks are ever the same. Instead, what we need are flexible guiding principles that empower the whole team to think on their feet and adapt to whatever is actually happening.
And here's the best part. Investing in resilience has a massive, measurable payoff. Gartner predicts that if you dedicate just 20% of your security budget to this stuff, you can cut your total recovery time in half, by 50%. I mean, when every single hour of downtime is costing you money and your reputation, that is a fantastic return.
So, as we wrap this up, the big question I want to leave you with is this. Is your current security plan designed to fight last year's war? Or are you building real, tough resilience to survive the completely unpredictable battles that you know are coming?